Okay, hi everyone. This is Sonia from Zen with Pen and Paint, and today I want to just have a little talk to you about the difference between abstract art and intuitive art. And also I want to show you this sketchbook that I've been working on. It's an idea for you guys who love doodling and intuitive art, and also abstract artists as well, I guess. So I have this A4 sketchbook, and what I've been doing, it's an old sketchbook. I only had 1 or 2 pages completed in this. So I thought I'll just rip those first few pages out, and they were important, and I've made it into my intuitive doodle type sketchbook. And what I've been doing is on every page I've been starting off with some doodles in various different media. So I've been using watercolors, Crayola markers, I've been using oil pastels, colored pencils, pens, anything I get my hands on really. And I've been going through and just starting these pages. So these aren't completed works. These are started, what I like to call intuitive doodle pages. And as you can see, none of these are finished. So my idea is to have this whole sketchbook with pieces that are started for me so that I can, when I want to relax in front of the TV, or I want to go outside in the back garden, maybe sit outside at the table and just have something where I don't want to start from fresh. I just want to have a jump start basically, so I can not have to think too much about, what marks am I going to start with? I've already started all these pages and I can continue on with them or leave them as they is. Some I look at, like this one for example, and I quite like the look of it as it is. And when I think you have this thought in your head, I'm scared if I do any more I'm going to ruin it, that's when I say you're probably finished. So that's the way I look at it. If I think this page, I love it at the moment, but I think if I add more to it, it's going to maybe overwork it, or it's going to I'm going to ruin it, then I know, this piece is complete. Now some people would call this abstract art, some people call it doodle art, some people call it intuitive art. I guess I'm working towards abstractness, but for me personally, this is what I like to call intuitive art. So I started off doodling, and you'll see in past videos I was doing a lot of pattern making and doodling, and I've been on a sort of discovery process of where I want to go with my art. And at the moment I've gone from these sort of very high-tech sort of, I don't know if you call it high-tech, that's probably not quite the right word, but I've gone from these very neat doodling pages, which I still also love, don't get me wrong, to more of this intuitive art, which has still got a lot of doodling and a lot of pattern work involved, but it's also very loose and freeing, definitely a lot looser than my blue and white ink pen work, but it still involves the pattern making. This one is probably more abstract, and I think, okay, so what's the difference between abstract and intuitive art? I think I probably should have Googled this first, but this is coming from my point of view. I believe that abstract art, you're still working within boundaries of art. So you're still looking at composition, you're still looking at values and hues of colors. You're looking at, you're looking at, things are abstract, but they still need to follow certain rules, especially when it comes to composition, I believe. Whereas intuitive art, you sort of get rid of any rules at all, any rules, and you just go with what your heart is feeling. And this is what I'm doing with these. And like I said, a lot of these aren't finished. They are jumping off points. So this is a sketchbook I can take around with me. It is A4. You might want to do this in an A5, or even like I've got this little sketchbook here. It's so cute. And I haven't even used it yet, but this would be great to put in my handbag when I'm going out and do some mini ones in here. I'm also thinking about doing some color swatching in here, just seeing what colors look best with other colors. So you can do it even that size, but this is something that I can take around the house with me at least. And I'm not starting with that blank page fear. And even when I started them, like I didn't have that blank page fear. I just start like, I don't care if it looks good or it doesn't. I'm just going with whatever I want, and there's no, like, I don't have to show this to anyone. I don't even have to show you guys, but the whole reason for my YouTube channel is I want to get out there and I want to tell people it's okay to do intuitive art, guys. It's okay that you're just getting out, whatever you've got on hand. Like next to me, I've got Tombow markers. I've got cheap fluoro markers. I've got Crayola, your double tip doodle, what are they called? They're called Crayola double doodlers. Like, these are for kids and they're really cheap. I use all of this on my pages, as well as, of course, my pens. I still like getting in and doing some doodling in my pen work as well. But this whole idea is for me to one, loosen up, and two is to see what shapes that are me. So some people prefer to do, a lot of wiggly lines. Other people, I think, are like circle people. They love doing circles. And I challenge you to find, what is your doodling signature? Like, are you someone who loves a lot of dots, or are you someone who just likes to scribble? This is what the sketchbook is all about. Now, you'll also see there's these little bits of collage pieces I've put in here. And what they are, they're actually from an art book that I have. And it's all just watercolor papers in there. And they're actually made for doodling. I've got the book here next to me. It's called I probably can't say this right, Hira Mackay, Draw What You See. And basically, it's just all watercolor doodles in here. And the aim of this book is to make the watercolor doodles into pictures. So it's another way to loosen up and get free with your art, and it's all in that doodling world. So like you can see, these are made, this one's made into a dog, this one's made into a person and a gnome, and you can just continue on and making your own characters out of these doodles. So it's a jumping off place again. But I bought this for a trip on an air flight. I did a couple of pages, but it's not really for me, so I thought these are such wonderful watercolor, you know, splotches. It saves me time, so I'm just been cutting it up into sections and placing it in my sketchbook as well. So you can see there's all different styles in here. I use watercolor paints in here. I use gouache paint here. I've used acrylic paints, but mainly the acrylic paints because I don't like my pages sticking together. I've been using the acrylic paint markers, just a cheap brand I found here in Australia. They're just like this, and they're really nice. I mean, just love the colour that comes out of it. And you don't get any streaking. It doesn't go through the paper. Love it. And look at that orange colour. It's so bright. And I'll just go in and I might just do a little bit like that. And I might keep the orange pen. Right. And I might go and I'll flip through all my pages. And I'll go, I think it could do with a little bit orange up here. You know, so I'll add some orange here. You can do that. You can just work throughout your book, just adding one colour to like whatever pages you like. Or you can just work on one page at a time. But for me, this is all just a jumping off space. Some of the pages I look at and I feel like it's nearly completed. I'm really liking the way this one is coming along. So again, here I'm just experimenting. What shapes do I like? Do I like the curvy snake shapes? Do I like these circles, which I just made with my fingertip? Do I like snail, you know, type shapes? You know, just, and I'm working on different colours. Again, I've put some collage in here. And sometimes the collage is a jumping off point as well. Again, I've used collage here and up here, and this is a page that you know, is definitely not finished, but I want to keep working on. This one I'm really loving for some reason. I've got a really fat black marker. It's this one here. It's called Pop Mate, Artline Pop Mate. And my husband actually found this on the side of the road, and it's fully working. And yeah, he's like, "Oh, do you want this? I found it." It's like, I sure do. And it's a really broad tip like that. I think it's a 20 millimeter tip, so it's really big. And I just did these lines, and it was making these white marks in between. And instead of fixing them up and having it all black, I loved how it left the white lines here. And then I decided that I needed more colour, so I came in with some Crayola markers, and then I came in with some collage, and I'm really loving how this is looking. Not sure if it's finished yet, but it's close to it. Again, some more doodling, playing just with a normal, this is a fine liner pen, I think it is. Just doodling, making shapes, seeing where it takes me, adding bits of colour now and again. This page I've sort of come back to a few times. And then here I'm starting to, I think it's at this point here, these last couple of pages where I'm, you know, I really want to go bright, I've decided, with my colours. And I've really been looking at other art and seeing what is it that attracts me to other artists' art. And no matter if it's florals, or it's a landscape, or it's abstract, or it's doodle art, I seem to be very attracted to brightly coloured shaped art. Bright colours. So this is what I'm trying to put in now, is still doing my doodle shapes and my intuitive artwork. So again, when I say intuitive, I'm not thinking, oh, I want triangles down here and I want a triangle over here, and then I have to, you know, have this sort of composition And you know, I'm not thinking anything like that at all. This is all intuitive, where I'm just making marks where I feel like it. It's a happy process and a ton of fun. And so this is a page that I can keep developing and working on, but I'm loving the bright colors. So this is really a process for me. I feel like I'm getting a lot out of this doodling and mark making. Again, I don't really do a lot of squares in my art, so doodle squares. So I thought, how about instead of always circles, let's do some square work. And then, you know what, I was not happy with the squares. I'm not really into doodling squares too much, so I had to go in and add some circles. So this is going to keep going as well. And then we have some more collage here from my watercolor book, and you can see the collage was a jumping off start for me. So I already had colors on this paper, and then I went in and I actually painted some more watercolor paint on top of what was already there. You know, I outlined things, and then I've added some oil pastel, some more shapes. Really loving how this is feeling. And for me, I'm finding that it's a feeling I get when I make these brightly coloured pieces of work. Some people might be into pastel colours, or maybe you're really into black and white, or I have another sketchbook that is full of only blue and white. But there's something about I'm finding bright colours and that pop off the page and work off of each other, that's really exciting me. So I feel like I'm getting somewhere with all this. And again, you know, still adding in my pen doodles. I'm still loving that, even though I'm using a lot more oil pastel, and I'm using a lot of crowns and acrylic paint and gouache and things. I'm really loving this part here with the doodle, with the thin pen doodle lines. Is really that's really making me happy, this page so far. But again, it's still a work in progress. And again, like I always say, intuitive. Just go with your gut. Don't be scared. Like, just grab a pen. I'm not thinking about it now. You know what? I'm just going to go in and I'm going to put some little doodles in there. You know? Wow. Happy with it? Yep, sure, I'm happy with it. If I'm not happy with it, you know what? I can get a piece of collage, put it over the top. Or I just change the page. Let's keep going. Again, keeping with this brightly coloured themes and jumping off this piece of collage here where I've added the pink in here. And more, and again, out with the pen as well, doodling still. So I'm finding, like, the last few pages, okay, so I'm enjoying, what am I enjoying? I'm enjoying adding my doodling pen to my mixed media pieces. So I haven't put away that pen yet. I'm still enjoying those fine lines in my intuitive art. And this one I worked on last night. This is, again, I'm really trying to see what shapes do I like. I know I like doing big circles. I know I like doing these, what I call snakes. I like doing my snakes. I like doing circles, trying some diamonds up here. I do enjoy diamonds, swirly shapes. So working on my shapes, and just your shapes can be your intuitive, your own art signature. You know, you could, you know, when people look at your work, they could go, you know what, that is such and such's art, because, you know, I can tell straight away because they always use that certain doodle in their work. Then I missed a few pages for some reason. And I did this one back here. So I did this one again, working with those snake type patterns and trying some different colors here, because I don't work a lot with brown, so I really wanted to try some brown. And then of course I had to put blue in because, you know, blue is my favorite color, and then added some collage over here. And then I've only got a few more pages left in here until it's totally full. And then I've got this exciting sketchbook that I can go back to whenever I feel it, pick up a pen and just keep adding to it and not worrying if it's, you know, if it's going to look good or not. I really don't care. It's my sketchbook, and it's my place of discovery and fun and looseness. And like I said, these aren't meant to be abstract works where, you know, I'm still looking at composition and it's maybe this is, you know, an abstract piece of, you know, looking down from the sky at a landscape or something. No, it's not. This art, like I quoted in my last video from my favorite abstract artist, Gillian Ayres, says, she quotes in an interview that why did people look at her work and try to think, what is it, or what is she trying to say, or, you know, things like that. Why can't they just look and go, you know what, I like that. You know, I like the colors. I like it. Why do I like it? Because it makes me happy when I look at it. I get a feeling when I look at this. And that's another important part of any intuitive art that you do, is what feeling does it give you? Like this here gives me a different feeling inside. Now have a think about it. Like you look at, you know, you'll probably get a different feeling too. So if you looked at this piece, how does it make you feel? And then if I were to say I would to show you another piece compared to perhaps this, how is this one making you feel? I mean, it's not finished, but how is this one making you feel compared to this one? Or how's it making you feel compared to this one? So that's another very important thing, I think, in any sort of art, whether you doodle, whether you create landscapes, whether you create portraits, or whatever you're doing. It's all about, I think, what it makes you feel or what it makes someone else feel. So I know this one with the pastel pinks and the pastel purples and the softer red, that this one makes me feel very calm. Even though, you know, there's a lot of swirls, a lot of patterns going on here, I feel like it's fun and happy, but also calming. But that's just me, you know, compared to something else. This is quite dramatic, you know, so is this one. It's quite dramatic. I don't feel calm when I look at this. I feel a little bit of mayhem. I also feel fun and excited, but also I feel like busy and mayhem, and, you know, so that's very important to also feel. Okay, so I think I've explained all that I can about this sort of thing, what I'm doing, but I also wanted to show you quickly. I've been making these abstract or doodly papers, and I just bought this, you know, a paper pad, just normal, you know, copy paper type paper. It's not thick, it's only 80 GSM. All in different colours. And what I did the other day on the weekend is I went with my gouache paint, and I just painted, again, just intuitively, just painted all different marks on them. I used a paintbrush, I used a, what do you call it? Can't think of the name now. Spreader, spatula, you know. This thing, you know, I used that to, you know, make marks. I used my fingers. I used anything really, and I just wanted to get nice, different, nothing neat and tidy. I just wanted to get nice, different shapes on my papers. So that what I can do is I can also, if I don't feel like in the mood for getting out my markers or my paint, I might see a piece in my papers where I go, you know, that's a good piece I can add to a piece of work. So I might have this. Now I might not go, oh, bang, that's, you know, that's probably too much. But I can get a pair of scissors and I might see a bit that I could use. So it depends how neat and tidy you want to cut it out, but I'm not one for neatness. I don't care for neatness at all. I like quick art. So, you know, I'll cut a piece out and then I will glue this and go, you know what, this looks pretty cool on this page. I actually like it pretty much everywhere, but this is what I do normally, is I kind of put it all over the page and just see where does it resonate with me. Where do I like the look of this? You know what? I kind of like it there. You know, for you, it might be somewhere different. You might go, oh no, it doesn't look good there. You should have put it down there. But that's why this is my art and not your art, because we're all different. So I should get a different glue. I'm all out of glue sticks at the moment, so I'm having to use this glue here, which is nothing wrong with it. It just, it's a bit messier. I like to spread it out with my finger. There we go. I'm going to pop it there. You know, and I can just do that, and I can just spend the whole night just going through my collage papers that I made and just cutting out sections and adding them to, you know, pages in my book, in my sketchbook. So that's about all I have for you today. But this is what I'm doing at the moment. Really enjoying it. I hope that you find looking at this useful or inspiring, or in some way helps you in your own art practices. Mostly of all, I just hope that you give intuitive painting a try and don't be as hard on yourself. You know, a lot of people are very overly hard on themselves when it comes to art, especially if they're not a professional artist and they're at home and they're just wanting to create art for themselves, or art they can stick on Instagram or something. And, you know, just do things that make you happy, and, you know, that's what art is about. And I've decided that's what art is for me. It's about being happy with what I create and what I'm doing, and this is making me a hell of a lot happier than a lot of the art pieces I've done in the last, you know, 10, 15, 20 years that I've been doing different arts. So thank you very much for watching. If you did like this, please subscribe, because I've got a lot more videos in the future to come, all about intuitive art, doodling and abstract work and all that happy art making stuff. So thank you very much for watching. Bye.